Hey guys, it's Kat. Welcome to my first ever tutorial. This is really late and I'm so sorry for that, but I didn't have time with college and school, which is college, and I was sick for a little while, so my voice was shit. Yeah, so here we are. So for the first tutorial, I thought we would start with sketching a face from, or rather using photo references. I thought it would be useful for you guys, since we do have to understand the face before actually getting good at it, or unless you're really good at visual drawing already, then it will be easy for you. Okay, so I selected three views: the three-quarter view, profile view, and frontal view, which in my opinion is the hardest one, because when you screw up, you really screw up. Yeah, okay, just really quickly, a disclaimer: I am not a professional artist, whatever that means, and maybe my techniques don't work for you guys, but this is what works for me, and I thought I would share it since it works pretty well, I think. So yeah, we have Jimin in the first picture. He's a little tilted, his head. It's not perfectly three-quarters like Jin next to him, but I thought it would be interesting to explore this view as well. So I did a little bit of a cheat sheet guidelines above the picture. I would say if it helps to trace, but do not trace in the final drawing. Don't. It will not help in the end. It will only come out, it will come out good because you traced, but you won't be learning, so it'll be harder in the long run to get good at capturing the features. But yeah, so I followed the guidelines more or less. I'm very used to drawing, looking at stuff. That's mainly how I learned. So I kind of imagine the angles and where stuff fits in my head, instead of like really having to draw the guidelines. But I did it for you guys so you would understand. Sometimes I sketch like 2 or 3 times before I get the sketch right. I'm not that you need a perfect sketch, but it's the base. If you have a good sketch, then you'll have good proportions and everything. So Jimin has this really unique nose that it's important to get right. His eyebrows are a little arched. Then you need the corner of the eyes usually fall in line with the nostril, the end of the nostril. We also need to get the angle of his eyes right, since they are very unique as well. Then, you do the mouth. Since we already have the guidelines underneath, it should be a little easier. If it doesn't come out right, it's fine. You can always sketch it again later. Here the mouth was a little too to the side, so I picked it up and dragged it a little bit. Still not perfect, but that's okay. Then you do the other eye, following the angle of his head. I think the eyes, nose, and lips, and in this case the eyebrows, which is left eyebrow is a little off. That's fine. Are very important, because if you have the eyes wrong, then everything is wrong. It's gonna be hard. So you should always keep the eyes in the same line. Now I'm just, making it a little a little better. I like to zoom in a lot in the ref pick so I get everything as right as possible. And sometimes I don't even bother with all of this. I paint over it. So sometimes when you color it, it will come out better. But I would say that since the line art is so important, you should, at least get a sketch that you can follow and you're comfortable with how it looks. Don't worry about eyelashes, they look really weird when you sketch them. The angle of the eye is very important. The eyeball, the iris, because since it's in an angle, it also has volume to help with where he's looking at. I find that with Jimin, his face is very, very hard to sketch and get right. Something always looks off to me, but that's fine. Here we're just following the lines as best as we can while looking at the ref. Do not, you can improvise, sure, but it's a little hard. His lips do that little triangle, the little open, and here the jaw is a little weird, but we'll fix it later. That's the magic of Photoshop. You can always adjust things later. You don't have to be worrying about, like with pencil, if you fuck up, or if you screw up, you're screwed. You can delete it. Here you can move stuff using Liquify. I use it a lot. It's a bit of a cheat, but I don't care. Helps me instead of having to sketch everything from the beginning. With the ears, you just need to do that little hook and then the little thingy. I don't know the names. I should have searched them, probably. Yeah, the clothes I like to improvise. I don't really care. As long as it looks similar, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's much more important to get the face and the proportions right than, his clothes. Unless you're really going for mega realism. Here I'm showing that the corner of the mouth usually connects with the jaw, the angle of the jaw. And yeah, I think we're done. Oh no, we're going to liquify to fix some angles. Yeah, okay. That's that. It's not perfect, as you can see from the trace, but I think it looks like him, so I'm pretty happy with it. Now for profile, which is the one I like the best. I did a little sketch there to show how I start, which is basically like this. You do the little shape and then the head, the neck, which doesn't go up. It does like that straight angle. You have the jaw, the ears. Usually the head is a little bit bigger back, like where his hair is, but they have such fluffy hair that you can't even tell. Plus, the skull is very different from, Asian people and Western, let's say. Now we have to get his nose, which is very unique to him, the nostril, and then you can do a line like that. The angle you can see in the guideline part from the picture that his bottom lip is supposed to touch that line, but the top lip doesn't, so it has that angle. And then the eyes, I did a little sketch on that side to show how Western eyes look, more or less. Since Asian eyes have thicker lids, it doesn't go in as much, so they're very different. What, you know, from the picture you can tell that. So if you use reference pictures, you're just fine. Here I pulled the ear and the jaw a little bit further in because it was way too out. So it was getting a little weird. Now you just get a new layer, put the other layer with a lower opacity, and start doing the details. In the nose, he has a very high nostril. I was trying to tell you guys that with that line. There's that line that connects to the corner of the mouth, where the mouth ends. There's a very small chin. Does that little angle. It goes down. Once again, if you get it wrong, don't freak out. It's fine. You can always delete and come back later. I do that a lot. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes it goes wrong. Once again, do not draw the eyelashes, or at least I cannot draw eyelashes. They always come out so weird, like spider legs. I find it funny when people tell me, "Oh, you got his moles and his car," and I'm like, "Yeah, you know, the details are important as well." So, and I like that especially to get the moles and everything. With the ears, again, the hook and the little thingy, the ears are very simple. Once you do one ear, you can do every ear in the world, you know. Fluffy hair. Their hair is so fluffy, so far away from their head. We can't even tell where the skull is, you know. Usually that doesn't matter. Here it doesn't matter. The jaw is way too big. I think we're gonna fix it. The mouth is a little off as well, but you know, you can always fix everything. Do not stress. Uh, that's really the beauty of Photoshop. You can always start again, do it again, you know, without having to delete everything or losing everything. It's fine. Here we are in Liquify. I usually do Command Shift X on my Mac, but there's always the bar up there in Photoshop. I don't think I actually recorded up to that part, but yeah, you know, Command Shift X brings out Liquify. I don't really know the shortcut for Windows, but you can always, you can always search for it on Google. You know, Google has everything. The ear was a little too far. I think we're still gonna fix the nose, like the profile in itself. Jungkook actually has a hard profile for me. You know, sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you have to do it quite a lot of times. It helps with flipping the canvas, which is what I did. Yeah, I kind of screwed up here, so I'm deleting, I'm cleaning it up. So it's on the same layer as Jimin's. I labeled it and everything, and then I screwed up again. But yeah, I put two different members in each view, but since this tutorial was already so long, it was in total like 1 hour 40 minutes or something. I thought I'm not gonna do a 3-hour tutorial since I'm a very slow sketcher sometimes, like 15 minutes for each face, but since I was talking and then the audio didn't work, so I'm doing it again. Yeah. Okay, so front view. For Taeyang V, he has really big ears, so I'm doing like a sketch just to show that once you do the big ears, you can already tell it's him. It's very important to get like the distinguishing features right because it helps with likability. I don't know if that's how you say it. I'm doing the hair first. I have no idea why. Sometimes I don't follow my own like thought process. It usually doesn't go well. I'm gonna have to fix it later, but you know. So we do these guidelines for the eyes. The nose is a little above the ears since his ears are very, long. He has a very tiny nose, um, a very tiny mouth that connects to the nostrils as well, just like the eyes. Usually, some people have wider mouths. I think with at least BTS, most of them, their mouths are pretty. Most of the times they go with the ends of the nose. I don't know why. They have very like small mouths, but then big lips. Like Jimin. Jimin has a very small mouth, but really plump lips. Yeah, so now we get another layer and we start to sketch it a little better. He has these really, like his eyes are very pretty, but I don't know how to explain it. Front view is very difficult because if you don't get the everything very symmetrical, not that human faces are perfectly symmetrical, but if you get something a little crooked, you can automatically see it, so it's really hard. He has it's kind of a white nose, like his nose bridge is white. That's it's kind of easy. Um, yeah, getting the eyes in the exact same line is hard. Getting them not to look like they don't belong in the same face, and like he's looking at two different places is also difficult for me. He has these lower eyelashes. You can clearly see his waterline. It's not every day that you see that. Here I can, tell that the hair was a little off. I needed to prolong it a bit. We can see his eyebrows. I mean, we can kind of see the left one, but it's not important. Uh, Very square-ish jaw. Can quite see the angle. Whereas Jimin has kind of a more triangle shape. V has a more square jaw. And then the lips. His cupid's bow is very defined, whereas once again, Jimin, his cupid's bow sometimes just disappears. You can't even see it, which is frustrating when you're trying to sketch it. Yeah. Trying to work a little bit more on the details. I don't know why. Sometimes I lose myself. Here the chin was a little too jutting out, so I cut it a bit. And then we have to get the jaw. It usually helps to flip the canvas again so you can see if one eye is higher than the other. I don't think I did that here. No, I really don't. Once again, the hook, the little thing. The parts where I'm shading is like they go in, their shadow. I like to do that. I like to draw ears. I'm weird. His hair too. Then you get the neck. You can see the Adam's apple and the shadow. It's not perfect. We could work on it a little bit more, but like I said, usually I leave it here and then start coloring. yeah, more details. And the jacket, like I said, with Jimin, I don't really care for perfection. I just try to get it right, and then, you know, we'll see. Because usually the clothes don't really matter. I don't think. So yeah, here are the final sketches for this tutorial. 20 minutes almost in. I had to speed it a little bit, but I don't think it's too sped up. I think it's good. I will post the final sketches and the guideline sheet on my Twitter, which I will put the name here in a bit, so you guys can check it out, I think, if you want to. Here's my ad. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry for my bad English sometimes. I'm very bad at illustrating my thoughts, but I think with the help of the visual help, you guys will get it. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and like. If you want, you can always suggest other tutorials. I think I'll try to make a series if this one goes well. If you guys think it's useful. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.